It's been a while. Kathy, how've you been? Guess what? My husband and I had a beautiful baby. She looks just like me and Jake, so cute. Why don't you come over to our place? I mean, I bet you're envious. The message from Moira was filled with malicious comments. Reluctantly, when I went over to Moira's house, she said, "Isn't the baby cute? Feeling a bit jealous, aren't you? You're still single, right? Still hung up on Jake, maybe? Well, even if you are, I'd never let him go, just so you know." I was bombarded with her mean comments and felt uncomfortable staying there any longer. My name's Kathy, 29 years old. I live with my husband and our 2-year-old son. My husband, Michael, is my boss at work, and we got married 3 years ago. Every day spent with my husband and son is truly a joy and a blessing. Hey, Kathy, wanna go to the amusement park this Sunday? Oh, sure, that sounds nice. I'd love to ride the Ferris wheel, it's been a while. Sounds fun. Well, I'm off to work now. Thanks for working hard every day. Take care. Will do. That's how our mornings usually go, with me seeing him off to work. Every day might seem ordinary, but it's these moments that I cherish. I love cooking and traveling, and I especially love taking photos. Recently, I've been sharing my photos on social media, and it's fun interacting with everyone there. I have a decent number of followers on my account, and I enjoy the likes and comments I receive. Everything was going smoothly until something unexpected happened. It all started with a message on my phone. Oh, I've got a notification. Who's it from? I initially thought it was another social media notification, but it turned out to be a message from Moira, an old friend of mine. It's been a while. Kathy, how've you been? Guess what? My husband and I had a beautiful baby. She looks just like me and Jake, so cute. I finally understand what people mean when they say you're the apple of my eye. Why don't you come over to our place? I mean, I bet you're envious. The message from Moira was filled with malicious comments. Moira and I went to the same school from elementary through high school. We had been in the same class multiple times and were very close friends. We remained close even after graduating and entering the workforce. To me, Moira was my best friend. However, an incident drove a wedge between us, and we eventually lost touch. This happened a few years ago. Shortly after graduating from high school and starting my job, I was invited to a group date where I met Jake. We hit it off and began dating. About a year or so later, Jake proposed to me. I accepted on the spot. That evening, I introduced Jake to Moira at a local bar. Hi there, I'm Jake. I'm gonna marry Kathy. Nice to meet you. I'm Kathy's best friend, Moira. Congrats on the engagement. Kathy's a great gal. Please take good care of her. Moira warmly congratulated us on our engagement. Kathy's always been a kind-hearted and popular person in school. I'm lucky to have a wonderful friend like her. That night, we shared stories from our school days and about our relationship, enjoying our time together. Little did I know, this meeting would lead to the biggest mistake of my life. About a month after I introduced Moira to Jake, I got off at a station a bit away from my office due to work. Just as I was leaving the ticket gates to head to my office, I saw something shocking. Across the street, Jake was walking arm in arm with a woman. I had to do a double take. Because Jake had taken the day off, saying he was going back to his hometown in Nebraska. I couldn't believe he'd be in a place like this. Having some extra time, I decided to take a detour to get a closer look. And indeed, it was Jake. What's more, he was cheerfully walking arm in arm with that woman. Oh, come on, Jake. Betraying me? And who's that woman with you? Who is she? I muttered to myself. Her son had obscured her face, making it hard to see. But something about her walk and style felt familiar. Then she lifted her sun hat to wipe the sweat from her brow. Is that Moira? Wait, what's going on? I was completely lost. Why were these two walking arm in arm, looking so chummy? It meant Jake had been lying to see Moira. To anyone who didn't know them, they'd look like a young couple in love. I began to wonder if Jake was cheating on me. Come to think of it, lately, our conversations had been few and far between. I was determined to confront them about their relationship. That's when Moira noticed me staring. She started to approach with Jake in tow. Well, if it isn't Kathy. What a surprise bumping into you here. Did we shock you? What are you talking about? You're not surprised? Don't you want to know why we're together? Moira teased with a smug tone. All right, I'll spill the beans. We're dating. In that moment, my mind went blank. Kathy, are you okay? Were you surprised? Moira said, smirking. I was overwhelmed with emotion. Turning my gaze to Jake, I asked. Jake, what the heck is going on? Explain yourself. Sorry, Kathy. I've fallen for Moira. So I've decided to break up with you. My bad. Hey, you can't just decide that on your own. As I spoke up, Jake and Moira started chatting with big smiles. I'm really sorry. But I'll make sure to pay alimony, so don't worry. I'll chip in too. Money is important, you know. And then Moira began to speak, and what she said was quite surprising. Jake and I are going to visit both our families now to introduce ourselves as a couple planning to get married. So, maybe the next time we see each other will be at our wedding. See you later. Saying this, they both left, waving their hands. Just when I thought I was about to get married, Kathy, who I considered my best friend, stole my significant other. And I never imagined they were already at the stage of visiting each other's families. Feeling like I'd hit rock bottom, I headed to the office for work. That day, I wasn't in the mood to be productive at all. A few days later, I received a compensation check from the two of them in my bank account. I felt a mix of sadness, anger, and other emotions. I continued to have days when I lost my appetite or didn't feel like going to work. I couldn't get over it. Tears would suddenly flow, and I'd mumble to myself in a low voice. My mom, worried about my state, said, "Honey, you've been acting strange. You left the laundry out all day yesterday, and you've been buying the same groceries we already have in the fridge. You never used to do this. Forget about Jake. You'll find someone else." My mom tried to comfort me. But my sadness wasn't about not being able to forget Jake. I couldn't forgive Moira, whom I considered my best friend, for taking my fiancé away. As I was reminiscing about that distant past, I heard a voice from the entrance. I'm home, babe. Oh, welcome back. Sorry, I was lost in thought. You seem upset. What happened? The one who came back was my current husband, Ted. Ted knew about my past. So, I hesitated to bring up something from so many years ago. We decided no secrets when we got married, remember? If something's bothering you, tell me. Ted said that, so I decided to tell him the truth. Moira reached out. She invited me over because they had a baby. It's not that I don't want to meet their child. I know her, she's probably going to brag a lot. To be honest, I don't want to see them ever again. I'm torn about going. To my surprise, Ted had an unexpected reaction. Why hesitate? They invited us, so let's go together. Ted, are you serious? Of course, I am. That woman not only bullied my beloved Kathy in the past but is still after her even after all these years. We need to talk to them about this. If not, this might continue. Don't you think so, Kathy? Yeah, you're right. I've always thought that someday I'd have to explain our situation. Now's the chance to set things straight. Let's show them how happy we are now. They'll be so shocked they might fall over. Ted seemed quite excited as he said this. A few days later, I told Moira that we would visit. And the day came when we, as a couple, visited Moira's house. Ted suddenly needed to use the restroom as we approached her place, so he stopped at a nearby convenience store, saying it wouldn't be good to go straight into their home for that. I went ahead to Moira's house and rang the doorbell. Oh, Kathy, long time no see. It's been a while. Here, have this. I handed her a popular bread I had at home. Oh, the trendy bread, huh? I thought you only ate simple, cheap stuff. You bought this especially for coming here. Thanks. Jake and I will enjoy it together. Moira's words had a hint of sarcasm, but I shot back. No, it's not like that. I had plenty at home, so I just brought some. Oh, I see. You're still single, right? You must have a lot of free time. I'm kind of envious. Moira continued with her snide remarks. Apparently, she thought I was still single. Then Jake chimed in. Come on, don't be so blunt. You're making it hard for Kathy to respond. He grinned slightly at Moira. I was honestly annoyed by their condescending attitude. All I wanted at that moment was to see their baby and leave. Where's the baby? Oh, right. We invited you for that. Isn't our daughter adorable? Jake and Moira, being a good-looking couple, naturally had a very cute baby. Although the baby was only a few months old and their features weren't fully developed, I could sense they took after both Jake and Moira. In my heart, I whispered, cute babies are just that. Cute. The baby is innocent. I hoped the baby wouldn't inherit their personalities. The baby's cute, isn't she? So, are you jealous? You're still single, aren't you, Kathy? Maybe you still have feelings for Jake? Even if you do, I'm never gonna let him go. I've been checking out your social media, and it seems kinda lonely. You're posting photos from various places for likes, but it just looks like you're enjoying it alone. Doesn't really seem interesting. And your meals, it's always just for one, right? Maybe you're waiting for DMs from guys? If so, that's super creepy. I thought to myself, if she feels that way, she shouldn't be looking in the first place. But Moira kept going with her sarcastic remarks. I've seen photos of foreign landscapes and night pools. You just got them from the internet and reposted them, right? And all those fancy meals, you're just showing off the stress of places you can't actually go to. It's unpleasant for people to see a social media full of your wishes. You should be careful about copyright. Yes, I just gave good advice. You should be grateful. Hey, lay off a bit. You're being too harsh on Kathy, said Jake, with a clearly unsympathetic expression. I decided to tell the truth. Actually, my husband's here with me. Sorry for the surprise. Their expressions changed instantly. Wait, Kathy, you got married? Well, is it that surprising? A lot of time has passed. I don't think it's that weird. Upon hearing this, Moira seemed taken aback. I knew it. You must have felt lonely living by yourself, Kathy. So, you desperately searched for a man. Probably settled for someone not so great. I get that you might be upset about Jake being with me. The main reason Moira took Jake from me was his high income. He was handsome and tall. Well-educated and from a wealthy family. And of course, a high salary to top it all off. Little did Moira know, she was about to get a big surprise. Ted, you can come in now. My husband, who had stopped by the convenience store, came in through the door. Sorry for being late. I'm Ted, Kathy's husband. And this is our son. Nice to meet you. Ted entered with a big smile. While our son looked a bit shy. The key players, Moira and Jake, were pale as ghosts. No way! Isn't this the famous? Their expressions changed dramatically. I tried hard not to laugh. Isn't this Ted, the chef from the 3-star restaurant, Scorching Diner? Why is he here? This has gotta be a joke. Dude, is this real? This isn't a dream, right? Sadly for them, it was not a dream. My husband, Ted, runs a restaurant in New York, known by those in the know as a top chef. Recently, he's been on TV and various online platforms. Knowing the truth about him left them both shaken. Naturally, they bombarded us with questions. So, how did you two meet? I just happened to go to his restaurant. We just clicked. Jake then chimed in. Hey, I've been to that place. It was amazing. And the bread you brought, is it from Ted? Yes, it is. My parents sent them to us. They mistakenly sent too many, so we brought them here. Please enjoy. It's really good. Ted continued without being flustered by their shock. Those dishes you posted on your social media, are they? Yes, they're real. I taught Kathy how to make them, and she often cooks and posts them. Even though I'm a chef, the real home-cooked taste comes from Kathy. Isn't that right, dear? Feeling a bit shy, I added. That's right. Those dishes are my own creations. They might not be as impressive as Ted's, but I love when he enjoys my cooking with a big smile. Upon hearing this, Ted's face turned red. So, you're not just single, you're super blessed, huh? Moira said with a hint of jealousy. Suddenly, Ted's demeanor changed, and he looked upset. The reason we came here today is that I have something to say to both of you. You bullied my precious wife in the past, right? Moira started to get nervous. And now you think you can show off just because you have a child? I can't even find the words. And you thought Kathy was single all this time? Even though you were close to getting married, you thought a settlement would be enough? That's, Jake was also sweating profusely. Why on earth did you bring Kathy here? After all these years, you're still trying to hurt her, aren't you? There's no way I'd do something like that. Ted raised his voice even more and began addressing Jake. Jake, I can't trust someone like you who can easily hurt someone else's wife. Before coming here, I did some digging. Turns out, the CEO and executives, you know, the top brass of your company, are regulars at my place. Just the other day, they were having a drink and talking about how tough their job has been. I mean, with an employee like you, it's no wonder they're drinking their stress away. And about yesterday, I casually asked them, do you know a guy named Jake? And guess what? They all nodded. Seems like you're pretty infamous for being incompetent. I made sure to chat about you. Well, I bet you're looking forward to work tomorrow, huh? Ted smirked as he spoke, and Jake looked terrified. I never thought Ted would go this far. But I was touched thinking that he was genuinely concerned about me. Suddenly, Moira turned on Jake with a raised voice. Wait, Jake, you're that incompetent? What are you gonna do if you get demoted? We have a kid, and expenses are only gonna go up. Think before you act. Excuse me? Why are you suddenly calling me incompetent? It's all your fault. Always nagging at me. I'm stressed out. How am I supposed to be passionate about work? Tell me. Before we knew it, Moira and Jake were in a full-blown argument. Let's head out, I suggested. Yes, let's go, Ted agreed. Ted, our son, and I left Moira's place. Apparently, Jake got an earful from his bosses at work. His chances of a promotion are probably slim now. To make matters worse, they had just bought a luxury apartment. They were happy to move in, but with Jake facing a possible demotion, they clearly couldn't afford it. Jake had to ask Moira's parents for financial help. They ended up selling the apartment, but they didn't get the price they hoped for. The loan is still outstanding, and now Moira is working multiple part-time jobs, busting her chops. Meanwhile, Ted was set to go to France. You're going to France? Yeah, I had plans to go a few years ago, but times were tough. How long are you gonna be away? About a year. I'm looking to further my career and come back even better. Take care. Don't get involved with any strange women over there. Jokingly, I said that and Ted burst out laughing. What are you talking about? You and the kid are coming with me. We've already got everything set. My eyes widened in surprise. You're kidding, right? Nope. We're gonna give it our all together over there. In that moment, I was truly grateful to have met Ted. It's unlikely we'll have anything to do with those two again. The weight that had been on my heart was lifted, and I looked forward to a brighter future.